If there is a pullback, it's a buying opportunity. I don't see why India would turn into a bear market. I simply don't see the conditions for that at all.
At the end of the day, we are today taking it as if there is a change of government. For that, this kind of a fall is justified, maybe. Because as Nilesh was saying that, we don't know the exact priorities of the new government. And normally my problem with the new government is that they try to start every program from zero. Even if a good program is running, they want to rename it, rebrand it, and therefore stop its connection with the previous government. And therefore everything has to be analyzed from zero. But if it is in some form the same government, maybe with two coalition partners, that does not mean that everything will be reversed. For example, nobody was saying that the defense sector stocks will be privatized. It was just that you have a policy to give more business domestically, have negative list, encourage domestic production. Now, who is objecting to that? What is the politics behind it? Nothing. So these things can be done. In oil and gas, nobody is asking that you subsidize oil prices. So that is continuing as it is. You may say that, okay, now there will be some emphasis on, handouts and subsidies because the BJP government may take some feedback that this is what was offered and therefore the deficit will be 30 basis points higher. Now, last week, the deficit turned out to be 20 basis points lower and nobody cared. What I mean is that these things are part and parcel of, changes that you may make in your portfolio.
As they say, don't count your chickens before they hatch. I think as market men, we all did that yesterday, and I think we are paying the price for it today. Honestly, I think political stability at the top was a very important pillar of this entire rally that started from March 2020. And because that pillar is shaking, the market is concerned, and rightfully so. I think we've had a fabulous run in the last couple of years. I think anything and everything was being justified on valuations. The market was indeed overheated. And given the numbers today on the political side, the market is concerned and it needed that consolidation.
First of all, I think yesterday's buying, today's reactions are going to be more emotional, sentimental, momentum than going to be fundamental. I think that's the big difference. And for a serious investor, I think it's very important to understand that yes, the euphoria of elections is good, everything is fine, but at what valuations are you buying? And the reality of the economy at the end of the day. And I think I'll just bring to a little bit of a party pooper to say that just today, Amul announced a 2 rupee increase per litre in price of milk, which just tells us inflation is all pervasive out there in the system.
Once you got a full majority, I think I'm agnostic in terms of how the current political dispensation is going to look at policy reforms going forward. To me, the key point is that you started on 6% growth rate, you have hit an 8% growth rate. Your core inflation today is lower than what is there in the US. I don't think that we are getting a sense of where we are heading as a country, right? We had a big problem with current account deficit. You are at a stage where in next 1 or 2 years, you will sort of get into a current account neutrality situation, right? So you need to look at equity market in context of where my macroeconomic variables are moving, right? So I suspect that you are not going to get reasonably good returns in the equity market, but even in the bond markets, because your interest rates are going to head down over a period of time. And that finally determines the valuation.
India has been one of the best performers in the world in terms of growth. We recently marked up India growth again off of very strong numbers. I think the Modi government, again, will be a continuity government. But we'll have to wait probably until the July budget to get a better sense of if there's going to be any more ambitious or different policies following the election win. But broadly speaking, I think India is in a very positive place, and I think that's likely to continue.
Yeah, as you said, it is reaction to yesterday's action. The expectation set by opinion poll was very lofty. And now what the numbers are coming out is very disappointing. So the reality, now this is a reality. And that was just a perception or expectation built. And clearly there is a complete mismatch. And so my sense is that bulk of the damage is done today. And stock-wise it is even far deeper in some of the cases. So my sense is bulk of the damage in those counters are done. Now one is the mandate and second is the formation of the government. I hope with the 290 or 294 or 300, whatever NDA you have, I mean, in the right spirit, we should get there is a mandate for NDA with 300 clear, way above the majority. So if we get NDA, of course, it will be weaker BJP itself. So the management style, which was far more central in Delhi, I think that has to become a lot more participative. And still we might, this is the power of leadership, this is the power of imagination, that the India story should not only continue, but it should gather momentum once this uncertainty of forming the ministry or that gets over. That will be in next 1 week or so. We'll see what kind of permutation and combination come about.